How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jonathan with Mom Post Woodworks, and as I mentioned in my last video, we were going to start a cabinet build for the laundry room. And so I have a 3/4 inch sheet of plywood sitting here. We're going to rip it. I'm going to make a couple videos for this series, and unfortunately I don't have a track that's long enough to do longer rips. That's typically what you want to do, is rip your product down and then you do cross cuts. But today I'm going to actually do a cross cut to give me a parallel edge here at the bottom, and then I'll go ahead and measure out 30 inches for upper cabinets, and we'll go from there. Today I have a Boris centipede. That's what I use to place my long sheets of plywood, and then I have one of these foam insulation sheets here also, so that I don't tear into my Boris centipede. I will be using a Craig track saw and track, and then we'll go ahead and move into the Craig ACS project table, and we'll do the remainder of that on there, as I mentioned on my last video. So we'll go ahead and start ripping this down. I went and set it to 1 inch to rip at the bottom. Typically you would do a 1/4 inch, but because I have some damage on this sheet here, I'll go ahead and rip that off. And then I'll rip it in the middle for the 30 inches for the length of the cabinet for your uppers. So before I get started, just want to reiterate ear protection and eye pro before you run any type of equipment. Alright guys, so we've established our parallel edge, and so I'm going to reference my next marks off this edge here. As I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a 30-inch cut. Or 768 millimeters. All right. So then we'll just reattach the track and the track saw, and I'll just reference off of both of these edges. And make sure I am directly on that line. And we'll go ahead and make our cut with the track. Alright, so we've established our first cut here, and we'll go ahead and continue going. I'm not going to bore you with showing you every single cut, but we'll go ahead and rip those down, and then we'll move into the Craig ACS. Alright, so what we want to do now is establish a 90-degree cut on the other sides. Since I made cross cuts and it continuously is a cross cut, I went ahead and put 2 versus stops at the other end so I could reference at 90 here. So then when I go over with the track saw, it'll rip this, and then I'll go continue making my cuts for the dimensions I need for my cabinets. There we go. That's just one of the first cuts. We'll go ahead and lift this and readjust for the next cut. Alright guys, so we're at the stage where I am going to start ripping tops and bottoms. So I'm going to rip this down to 16 and then I'm going to cut it down to 11 3/4 for the top and bottoms. Alright, so I'm going to move the sawhorses out the way with this piece of block. Just what I have to use, right? But this is 16 inches. I'm going to go ahead and cross cut it to the final dimensions. And I'll go ahead and set up my repetitive stops to 11 3/4, and we'll go ahead and feed them again and cut my tops and bottoms. Alright, so I've set up the Craig ACS table for 11 3/4, which is my tops and bottoms. So we'll go ahead and rip these down. And just like that, guys, it's just that easy to put it together. Alright guys, and just like that, I have my tops and bottoms. So you always want to face it up so that when you have any chip out or any tear out, it's at the bottom, right? So when I put this together, this would be the face that shows. This is veneered first plywood, so you're going to get some sort of chip out on it. This is all they had available at the time, so I went with it. It's not a big deal. But now I have my tops and bottoms, my sides. The only thing I got left to do is cut some spanners and the cabinet's shelf. And that'll be it for that. Alright, so we are going to create some stretchers for the back of the cabinets. You can do it several ways. I'm just going to create the stretchers that flush to the back of the cabinet with the reveal that I've made, the 3/4 inch. You could also do French cleats, and that's grabbing a stretcher, whatever size you decide to make them. I like to make them 3 inches, and so you can just cut that down the middle at a 45 degree angle, and then meet them at the back of the cabinet and the wall, and then they'll flush together. Like I said, I am going to do where I just rip them, and then I'm going to drill from the back of the cabinet into the stud. And we'll go ahead and set this up at 3 inches. Got my piece, and remember guys, safety, eye pro, ear pro, so that if anything happens, you're protected at all points, at every single point of this. And remember to run your board at an angle so that way you don't have any kickback. And just like that, we got our 2 stretchers for the back of our cabinets. I'll go ahead and rip these down in half to meet the dimensions that I need for the back of the cabinets. All right, and just like that, we got all our parts cut for our cabinet build, and we'll go ahead and assemble this in the next video. Like and subscribe guys, to see if you can follow me through this journey of building these cabinets for this laundry room renovation. But if you guys have any questions, remarks, go ahead and leave them at the bottom there. I'll go ahead and leave a link also for the Craig ACS table. And as I said, I'm not sponsored, but I wanted to show you guys what the table can do and what the capability of it is and how much faster you can get this done. I appreciate staying through the whole video, if you did stay through the whole video, and we'll go ahead and do the next series where we'll go ahead and put these together in 2 different forms.